How's it going, guys? My name is Jason with Hunter's Friend, and I'm looking at the Mongoose XT by Scott Archery. Scott makes great releases, and because of that, they have a very loyal customer basis. And another big reason is because they have a really awesome customer service that they do. They stand by their stuff, and they have the can't beat it guarantee, and that's no joke. I've seen it firsthand. Customers of Scott, if you have one of the releases and down the road something happens, call them and they will take care of it. So that is something I feel is definitely worth an honorable mention for sure. They've got great customer service. Again, this is the Mongoose XT, and I actually have one opened here. This is another release by Scott that we sell a lot of, one of our more popular ones, and it's pretty clear why as soon as you take it out. I mean, Scott releases are stunning when you look at them. They're just so cosmetically appealing, and they look so nice. Like the camo pattern is laid out really clearly and even on the wrist strap, and the anodized proportion on the actual stem is really nice as well. Like it's patterned out. There's no blotches or anything. I've always thought the way that Scott handles their length adjustment on the stem was really clever. They will have a set screw and a series of holes that you can adjust with. I'll show you how that works here real quick. So it's set at the shortest position, so all you got to do to change it is take out this set screw. Say I'm going to adjust it for a hand that is much bigger and someone who needs it set out as far as possible. So I'm just going to turn it and drop the screw back in, tighten it back down, and I just gave myself a whole bunch of adjustments. So that's actually really neat. They do that spiral technique so they can fit more holes, which gives you more options as far as adjustment goes. Scotts are also extremely well known for having a hair trigger and a very easy to handle trigger system in general. This is the single caliber jaw, which normally if you this is a spring loaded version, so you'll see some that don't have the spring that you could breathe on it and it will open and stay open. This one does have the spring, so that will, when you pull it, it will actually push back forward and close the jaw. But also, if you're looking for the hair trigger and you're used to just being able to touch it and it just going and staying open, you're not going to see that here right away. When you feel it, it almost feels like it's kind of hard to pull back, but that's only until you put it on a string and actually go to draw it back and then fire. Once you get it on the string, it's crazy. You could just, it takes nothing. It's pretty wild. Since it's only the one jaw, the trigger doesn't have to work all that hard. There's not much force needed to actually make it fire. Another big selling point for me, as I've always said, I say this as often as I can, comfort is important with the inner lining of the release itself. Scott has this crazy way of, if you just look at it, it almost looks like there's not much padding and that it wouldn't be that comfortable, but somehow it is. There is quite a bit of padding and it is extremely comfortable. Like, I mean, it really kind of impresses me every time I go to put it on, because it's way softer than you would think it would be. It's just that, just by looking at it anyway, but it's just a standard buckle style. You just slip it through, put it to where you need it, tighten it down, and you're good to go. One more thing about the trigger is, even though once you actually, it's hard to fill it out without shooting it, but once you do go to shoot it, if you do want to change the tension a little bit, there is a way of doing that. There's a little set screw down in there, so you can tweak this to any way. There's tons of different ways to set it up. I guarantee you can find a comfort setting that you'll like, be it the length or the trigger tension, whatever it may be. Scott does a good job at giving you a lot of options, and they make good stuff. To be completely honest, if there was one thing that I'd say I would like to see, would maybe be a fold back feature to where you can flip the stem out of your way like you'd see on some other releases, just so you can climb tree stands and stuff easier. In no way is that a deal breaker. That's just sort of a personal preference on my end, something I like. I actually have friends that don't like fold back features, so honestly it may just be me. But with that said, it's on a swivel, so it's not like it's going to be in your way completely or anything. But outside of that, these releases are pretty much perfect. I mean, I don't have an honest negative thing to say about it. So if you're in the market for a good permanent release, this is definitely one to check out. I would read up on it as much as you can, make sure it's the right release for you, but it's definitely something that won't steer you in the wrong direction by any means. You're not going to be unhappy with it. But that is the Scott Mongoose XT, and it's a good one. It really is, so check it out.